bed, walked over there, started talking and everything like it was nothing. But yeah, they were happy to see her. Nathan and Lulu still struggling with their feelings for one another. Brooklyn was telling Lulu that if she goes there with Nathan, she'll lose Maxie. Ava was talking to Nina about the spark she has for Sidwell, or with Sidwell. Sidwell had both his women about to take them to dinner. Hold on, y'all. Sidwell had both of his women about to take them to dinner. Lucas was confiding in Elizabeth about Marco, saying that he was wrong. He turned against his sister for him and stuff. And she was making excuses, or to me, she was making excuses. But then she told him, go back to Windermere and pack his bags. I said, don't you go back there. I said, how you know they ain't going to get you? Because didn't Sidwell say to Pascal or somebody that they would handle Lucas if he got in the way? Well, he about to get in the way. So I'm like, yeah, he going to be in that room next, him and Britt, him and Britt together. What else? Let's see. Oh, I think the last thing is that they showed Marco. He was on the phone talking to Cullen, talking about some. They need to talk about Sonny or whatever. And he turned around and Lucas was right there. And on Monday's episode, looked like he's saying that he don't want to hear no more or whatever. And Marco telling him he not going nowhere. And I said, where's Pascal? But hey, y'all, welcome back to another video. This is for General Hospital, February 13, 2026. First things first. Let me know y'all thoughts on this episode down below. I had to start it over because I had already started it live. I was talking and stuff, but halfway through it, I realized that it was on mute. And sometimes YouTube will cut it out if they don't hear no sound. But yeah, it was on mute. But yeah, what did y'all think of today's episode? Do y'all think that was a worthy cliffhanger? I was like, look here. I said, Lucas, you could always get new things. I said, don't you go back there. She told us to go back. First, she was making excuses and stuff, but okay, we're gonna start with Georgie, James, Felicia, Maxie, and Spinelli. So they did a replay where James was talking about what was he talking about? What was he talking about? Excuse me. I always get choked up every time. But he was talking about doing something without a helmet and telling him about it. And they ran over there, they hugged her. Everybody was just reuniting with Maxie. The doctor said she's gonna be okay. Spinelli and Felicia was talking about how to tell her that Nathan's alive. Felicia ended up telling her at the end of the episode, and she looked stunned. I said, I want to know if she gonna still want to stay with him, cause I thought so. I thought I was like, if they was married before he died, that don't even make sense. Before they thought he died, and it turns out he was okay. Ain't they still married? But yeah, so now I want to see how she's gonna react. I said I like her and Spinelli together, but at the same time, back in the day, she didn't really want him. She didn't really want him, but she did say, she's grown since then. She realized what she wants. So we'll see. We finna see. And we still don't know where Nathan was. We still don't know what he got going on. We still don't know. Tell them they better leave you alone. Hold on, y'all. She said, Chelsea, they messing with me. Okay. What else? Let me hurry up because it's gonna start even worse. What else? Let's see. Like I said, the end of the scene was Felicia telling Maxie that Nathan was alive. So I want to see, is she gonna stick with Spinelli, or is she gonna go over there and try with Nathan, and then they gonna realize that he not Nathan, or they gonna realize that they don't have feelings for one another. Nina, Michael, Jacinda, and Ava. So Nina assumed that Nina assumed that they was doing the dude in her office again, or at work again. But I think she said that he spilled something, so she went to get him a shirt. He ends up talking to Nina, wanting her to take it easy on Jacinda. She agreed. And I said, they always be like, they gonna be okay, they gonna be cool and everything. Then next thing you know, everything blow up. But yeah, what else? Elizabeth and Lucas. Lucas told her that he was wrong about Marco. He overheard the conversation, and she was like, maybe it's not that. Maybe he lied because he didn't want to lose you. I seen y'all together. I know it's love. Shut up. You worry about that dude you finna go on a date with who don't grab the woman and held her hostage. I remember that. That's how I definitely remember that. I see you worried about that. I said, no. I said, I wasn't expecting her to say that. But then she ended up saying she wanted to get him some tough love or whatever, and told him to go get his things from Windermere and get out of there because obviously Marco's into some dangerous stuff. You think going to another place is going to erase the fact that he connected to somebody who into some dangerous stuff? It don't matter where you go. And I definitely wouldn't go back to get the things. I said, you can always replace those things. Talking about to go back, and this fool done went back. This fool went back, and Britt tried to tell Marco, you're going to lose Lucas or whatever. Trying to tell him, like, no, you don't know what you're talking about and stuff like that. What we have is this and that. And she started telling him, you lying to him and stuff like that to separate from Sidwell. I said, exactly. Now you don't got up in it. That's what your mama didn't want. You keep talking about your mama and you got to make Sonny pay. Still talking about Sonny. I said, the fact that they keep, once again, the fact that they keep insinuating that Sonny had something to do with it kind of makes it seem like Sidwell gonna be the one who had something to do with it, cause he's so focused on that. Remember, once again, I know I keep saying this. His mama said came to him before she died. Said she didn't want him nowhere near his organization, and what he did. I said that'd be one thing to make Marco come over there if he made something happen to Natalia. We know Sunny guards wouldn't work for Dorn, so they could have left for anything. They were supposed to. They were supposed to take her to the airport. All this could have been avoided. But yeah, she told him to go get his things, and he went got his. Went there, and that's when he heard him on the phone with Cullen saying that they need to finish their conversation about Sonny Corinthos. He turned around. That's when Lucas was right there. Britt and Marco already said she was trying to warn him. He had to stand there and watch her administer her doggone medication. Look, I said they must know. They must know. Now, when Sewell was talking to Lucy, or Lucy was talking to Sewell, she stopped by to see him and everything. And she was like, she was wrong for giving him an ultimatum, and she still want a chance if he'll have her or whatever. The way he was acting, I was like, do y'all think he know that she went to see Sonny or what? But he was like, yeah, they finna go to dinner, but they gotta stop somewhere. I said, you finna go get Ava. He went and got Ava. Ava was so happy. She talking to Nina about the spark she has for him, and Nina was like, she against it or whatever, but it's good to see she has this glow about her. So Sewell came in, asked her to dinner, she agreed, and he was like, it's gonna be one more person joining. And next thing you know, Lucy is right there. So I said they have a table for 3. I said, ain't no way. I said, couldn't be. Ain't no way. I said, absolutely not. At this point in time, I said, no. I said, Lucy, you gonna get in trouble, girl. She still trying to take him down. Still trying to take him down. I said, the fact that she knew that something was off and she still didn't pay attention and listen to folks. Then, that reminds me. Didn't Sewell try to eliminate Maxie because she was trying to go to the police? Now that she's up, what is he gonna do? Is he gonna do something else to her, or what? Is that gonna even be revealed what he did? Oh, what else? Let's see. We talked about Lucy and Sewell. Lulu and Nathan, they over here working on the Valentine favors for Jane's school and everything. And they talking about their feelings and they struggling, and it could be something, but it could not be something, or it could be something, or it couldn't be. I said, just kiss. Just be together at this point. So they looked like they was about to kiss. Brooklyn came to drop off Bailey Lou. That's when she asked what was going on. So Lulu admitted it, and she tried to tell her that that's not a good idea. You're going to lose Maxie forever. And they started the back and forth again. But Spinelli ends up calling Lulu to say that Maxie woke up. So she told Brooklyn, and they both was happy. I said, see, y'all almost went there. And I said, they probably still go there. Y'all know they rotate. They don't care. It'd be so awkward. It'd be so weird. It'd be so inappropriate. What Ivy said on the Bold and Beautiful, it's not proper. It's not proper at all. If y'all watch the Bold and Beautiful lately, she been saying it's not proper at all. The way they I said I couldn't do it. But yeah, she was trying to warn her. She told me, so we just want the space or whatever she said to see what we have between us, because it could be nothing. I said, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. But yeah, Ava and Nina, we talked about them. They was just talking about Sidwell. Hold on, y'all. Uh-oh, shoot. I done did something wrong. Is it still on? Let's see. There you go. What did I do? I forgot what I was going to tell y'all now. I can't remember. But I think the last people... Oh, wait, we got to go back. I think Michael was talking to Jacinda about going on a date. She also was talking about... I just skipped all over them. She also was talking about the fact that he didn't tell her about the custody agreement between him and Willow. And she wanted to know if it was because of her. He was like, no, because he could get arrested for shooting Drew and everything. I said, I wonder how long that's going to go. It's so many characters allegedly leaving. So I'm like, okay, if these folks leaving, what storylines they finna work with? Because look, because some of them that's supposed to be leaving allegedly, they connected to the main storyline. So maybe it'll be over, because they said in the summer. So we got a while. I think the last people we got is Nathan and Britt. Britt had came to the office and she seen him, and he was like, Anna seems to think that their dad is alive. So I was like, okay, obviously he must not know. And I said, I'm so confused. I don't even know who this dude is. I don't know if that's Nathan. I don't know if he fake Nathan. I don't know if they did what they did to Anna in a different way to him in regards to his memory or what, because he do be acting suspicious. So I'm like, is he Nathan or not? Shoot, at least tell us that. Is he Nathan, or where did he been, on ice? Where has he been on ice? I know what I was about to say. I think this was one of the things I was gonna say. I was about to say I didn't know music was playing in the background, but I don't think you could hear it because I got that heater on. But yeah, I think that's everything. Let me see. Nathan tells Brie that Anna think that they dad alive. But that's it. That's all. Let me know y'all thoughts on this episode down below. Stay tuned for the next video. Until next time, deuces. Have a great rest of the day, a great weekend, and be safe. And also, happy Valentine's Day.